those of us who hear the deep voice within, aching to find meaning and purpose, start searching for the truth. No teachings can give us our own intrinsic knowing back, but true knowledge and its application can assist in directing us to our own intrinsic knowingness within. We can take a personal journey moving from believing to knowing, from hope to certainty, a transition of immense significance and an everlasting shift in self-awareness and empowerment. The Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order teachings are an unparalleled gift to humanity, restoring knowledge that was last common knowledge in our cultures 25,000 years ago. The application of this knowledge by which we can restore the reality of our own personal inner knowingness, known as our inner Christos or avatar level of consciousness, restores our intrinsic power to make conscious choices regarding our own evolution. We are reminded that these inner resources are inherent to our original design, and we learn how to reawaken them. The joy that comes with the realization that we are being given the opportunity to reclaim our ancient birthright as free, eternal, fully sentient beings. In the 3D everyday world, we are empowered by knowing how our physical bodies work and how the systems within which we exist work, such as the political, educational, and monetary systems. The essence of the MCEO teachings are based on self-sovereignty, self-empowerment, and so these teachings are returning us the knowledge of the intrinsic ordered systems within and behind all manifest forms, including our own multidimensional reality. We grow more acutely familiar with the multidimensional energetic structure behind and within the cosmos and all things in manifest form, including human and angelic beings. Not only do the teachings expose the structure of the divine organic constructs and their relationships to each other, but they also reveal the extent and nature of the distortions within these constructs, where they have come from, and what we can do about them. We need to understand at least a little of divine mechanics in order to heal. We need to know what we are healing and why. These portions of the teachings would make little sense without the historical events that have occurred and the effects these events are having on our present-day reality. By giving us a balance of sacred science, historical context, and technique, we can progressively empower ourselves to heal and make informed choices within the dramas of our own personal life and the cosmos in which we exist. In contemporary science, we learn that the structure of the physical body builds up from atoms to cells, then to tissues and organs. In Keylontic science, the scientific aspect of the MCEO teachings, we learn about the constructs behind and within perceivable manifestation. Just as our cells, organs, and tissues have structures, names, and relationships with each other, so do the constructs behind and within them, and behind and within the whole of our deemed 3D reality. Together, these constructs and the primal life force currents, frequencies that flow through them describe a perfectly orchestrated sequence of how consciousness enters them and returns from manifest form. This sequence is known as the manifestation transduction sequence. One of the key constructs in the manifestation transduction sequence is the Merkaba field. The Merkaba field is made up of counter-rotating spirals of energy. They can be considered as the primal lungs and circulatory system of God's source, breathing primal currents into via the clockwise base electric male spiral, and out of the via the counterclockwise base magnet female spiral. Manifestation with harmonious precision. In the MCEO teachings, we are given the scientific mechanics of the Merkaba construct and its precise ordered relationship to other constructs within the manifestation transduction sequence, including our DNA templates and physical bodies. We may ask, why such emphasis on Merkaba mechanics? Simply put, if this mechanistic relationship is distorted or compromised in any way, The effects of such core dysfunction will manifest all around us in a myriad of ways, from personal health, wealth, and relationships to collective human and planetary conditions, and so on. MCEO teachings are ascension teachings and give us an unparalleled science of ascension in terms of the original organic divine structure of the angelic human and in the context of universal structure. Ascension is a bioenergetic process by which we progressively expand into dimensions higher in frequency and return to unified at one ment with Source. We learn how manifest experience is played on the stage of dimensionalized field of existence. Dimensions are differentiations of consciousness. The particles within each dimension frequency band are made of the same stuff, units of consciousness, but they have different attributes, spin rate and angle of rotation. We learn that Merkaba fields, by virtue of their own spin rates and angles of spin, communicate to the tiny particles of consciousness, telling them the attributes, spin rate and angle of rotation, that they are to exhibit. Merkabas are therefore fundamental structures creating dimensionalized existence within creation. When an individuation of God's source experiences itself in a certain set of dimensional frequency bands, we say it is phase locked. Temporary phase lock is intentional and part of the organic design of manifestation. Inherent to the organic human design is the ability to consciously release oneself from dimensionalized phase lock. Just as Merkaba fields are energetic organs by which we are kept in manifest dimensionalized phase lock, they are also the tools by which we can release ourselves from phase lock. They enable us to move, which in reality is to expand, into the next set of dimensional fields of existence and progressively ascend. In our physical body, a sickness occurring in one area will be translated by virtue of the interrelatedness of the organs within the body into sickness in other parts of the body. This can be compared with the constructs in the manifestation transduction sequence of creation. A distortion occurring within the functioning of the Merkaba field will translate into distortions in other constructs within the sequence, including our own emotional and physical bodies, also known as karma. The scientific detail, historical context, and manifest expression of Merkabic distortions are not pretty. We learn how distortions in Merkabic fields lead to a process known as molecular compaction, an inorganic state whereby our bodies are unable to absorb and process the frequencies from higher dimensions, which results in disease in our bodies and manifest experience, and ultimately a condition known as monadic reversal. This is the condition by which the consciousness, not just the body, is irreversibly disconnected from the primal life force currents, energy spiraling from God's source via Merkaba fields, and thus its awareness of itself as an individuation of God's source. The MCEO teachings describe how interdimensional politics and purposeful distortion by beings who have already experienced monadic reversal of natural universal Merkaba mechanics has created a situation whereby knowledge and healing of our own personal Merkaba fields have reached critical importance. In order to understand these phenomena and what we can do about it, we need a reasonable grasp of Merkaba mechanics. This is a further reason why there is such an emphasis on Merkaba mechanics within the MCEO teachings at this time. We learn how our bioenergetic systems fit into that of the planet Earth, galaxy, universe, and cosmos. This knowledge enables us to work with the organic frequencies that come into the planet via the cosmic, universal, and planetary Merkaba field in order to heal, and in healing, we progressively restore our original design as eternal angelic humans with all the spiritual powers and spiritual responsibilities that this implies. Between the time period of 2000 and 2012, the MCEO techniques were carefully developed to work with the transduction sequence of manifestation. By virtue of given relationships within the sequence, we understand that when we focus our attention on healing, one constructs within the sequence, and we positively affect others. We have learned that the 12th dimensional level holds a divine blueprint for all the others beneath it. So whatever additional frequency we use, we always start with dimensional 12 frequency. And we've learned that our mental body is at dimension 3. Therefore, we want to bring D12 and higher frequencies into the body, which is stationed at D1 and D2, and it has to pass through D3. So leaving out the mind is like leaving out D3. In other words, it leaves out a step in the ladder, and healing frequencies simply cannot get through or are greatly diminished. The foundation techniques work with frequencies from dimensions 12, which is D12, or Maharic level of our consciousness anatomy, which acts as a carrier wave for all the other frequencies we work with. The D12 frequency was anchored on the planet for the first time in over 210,000 years on January 1st, 2000. The D12 frequency is also known as our Christos or avatar level of consciousness. This level of consciousness carries within it the memory of our own personal divine blueprint. It acts as a regulator, naturally and temporarily closing our system down when we have reached our own personal saturation point at that time. Therefore, it is totally counterproductive to move through the techniques too quickly without building up the D12 frequency in our system. Our planet exists in one of the countless energetic structures called 15-dimensional time matrices. Time matrices are created by God's source within God's source itself in order to experience anything that God's source desires. We are created in the image of God's source, and as a result, we are co-creators with God's source. We create with our thoughts, and we are entirely composed of the energy of God's source. All creation is composed of conscious energy of God's source and is formed by the process of God's source stepping itself down from large to small units of conscious energy. This process of stepping down of source's conscious energy into manifestation is called the stair-step creation process. God's source steps itself down into manifest form by replicating and distributing conscious energy into compartments that are specifically structured according to divine blueprint. The divine blueprint structure of any time matrix contains 5 sets of 3 compartments. These intricate and specifically structured compartmentalized energy systems are called time matrices. The process of source stepping itself down to create a time matrix is initiated by an out-breath and an in-breath of conscious energy. These creational breaths of God's source are created by the polarization of what are called Partiki or anti-particle units of consciousness into Partika or antiparticles and particum or particles. The perpetual motion of fission and fusion, separation and replication from Partiki units into Partika and particum units is called Partiki phasing and is the basis of what is known as Divine Trinity. Partiki phasing results in a flashing on and off of units of consciousness, which when grouped together form flashline sequences. Flashline sequences make up the structure of all creation, all life forms, including what we may see as protons, neutrons, and electrons in our Earth's reality field, or hologram. Keylontic science derives its name from the word keylon. A keylon is a composite of ultra-micro electrotonal energy units called partiki. Keylons group with other keylons to form dimensionalized crystalline structures of energy that exist at the base, morphogenic form-holding templates behind and within all matter forms, particles, and consciousness. Keylons compose the frequency field of sound and light upon which the entire cosmic matrix is structured. The unified field of cosmic energy is composed of groups of crystalline keylons. Chelons also compose the morphogenetic template of electrotonal and electromagnetic energy upon which the human DNA genetic code physical body, bioenergetic chakra system, and multidimensional aspects of consciousness, the spiritual body, are built. In chelontic science, we learned that a time matrix is a structure composed of 15 dimensions, and that each compartment within it contains Partiki phasing or flashline sequences that are unique to that compartment. In the outer dimensional levels of the time matrix, for example, in dimensions 10, 11, and 12, flashline sequences have the qualities of higher oscillation and lower vibration. In the innermost dimensions, such as dimensions 1, 2, and 3, flashline sequences have the quality of lower oscillation and higher vibration. These qualities mean that in dimension 10, 11, and 12, Partiki phasing is more rapid and matter forms are less dense. And in dimensions 1, 2, and 3, Partiki phasing is slower and matter forms are more dense.